What's going on, everybody? My name is Sweat if you guys are new, and in today's video we're going to be going over 10 of the best ways to improve in Apex Legends Season 10. Now I know there is a lot of new players fluctuating in from Warzone and maybe Fortnite even, so if you guys want me to make a video on the best beginner tips when you're starting out on Apex Legends, comment it down below and I'll be sure to do so. But without further ado, guys, let's hop into the video. Alright, everybody, the first tip today is going to be getting into as many fights as humanly possible, and this is going to apply to early game, end game, middle game, does not matter. And I want to emphasize that this video is not about getting wins. So if you're here to get wins and camp till last zone and, you know, shoot a person one time and get the victory and go, woo, nice job, Timmy, let's go, baby. No, that's not what this video is about. This video is about gaining experience and improving at Apex Legends so that you can absolutely dominate lobbies. You don't want to be just winning lobbies. You want to be absolutely stomping over kids and destroying people in Apex. And that's what we're going to get you to in this video. So first thing, like I said, getting into as many fights as possible. It's going to gain you that experience. Practice makes perfect. I'm sure you've heard that before in your life, and it applies here. The more fights that you get into, the more that you'll see, the more that you'll experience in Apex Legends. I've been playing this game since the very beginning. I think I have like 15,000 games or something played. So I've seen basically everything there is to see in Apex. So over time, you're going to gain that experience, and it's just going to make your mechanics smoother, your accuracy smoother. Everything is going to improve as long as you keep getting into fights. And don't worry about dying. Fight as many things as possible, but you're going to learn along the way how to fight smarter, okay? And what I mean by this is you're not just going to rush into a full team head on without any cover or anything like that. You know what I mean? You might do that the first couple times, but as you grow and as you experience whatever is thrown at you in Apex Legends, you're going to get better at those situations. And that's exactly what we need to do in order to improve. All right, everybody, tip number 2 is very, very similar to tip number 1. It's pushing everything in ranked. And you're going to be like, whoa, Sweat, ranked is for getting wins only. I want to gain my RP. I want to get Predator. I want to get Master. I want to get Diamond. I want to get Platinum. Whatever rank you're stuck on or whatever, you want to get to that next level, right? But you're not going to be doing that by getting 1 kill. I mean, of course you can. Of course you can sit in the back of the map with 1 KP the whole time, get a little points here and there, blah, blah, blah. But are you really improving? You got to think in the back of your mind, are you really improving with your squad? Are you really dominating these people in these high tier lobbies, or are you just scooting by, gaining the RP that's just left for you because everybody else is dying and you're just camping in a building? Pushing everything in ranked will not only help your mechanical skills and your rotational skills, positioning, stuff like that, but it's going to really help your gun skill. I don't think there's anything better than training against other ranked players in improving your gun skill. And once you can confidently like destroy players in ranked, then that should carry over to public matches pretty simply, except for the skill-based matchmaking. That is quite crank, so good luck. That's all I'm going to say. One other thing I must say in ranked, make sure to position yourself carefully and play smart while also pushing as many fights as possible. I don't want you guys coming back in the comments saying, yo, Sweat, I ran at this person with like a chicken with my head cut off and I got laser beamed. Yeah, obviously that's going to happen. Make sure you're playing smart. Like I said, position yourself properly, and then you can worry about fighting people in ranked and outgunning them. Now, tip number 3 today is going to be playing solo no-fill games. And what I mean by this is heading into a lobby without any teammates. And how you do this is go to the main menu, you check off the box that says fill teammates and have that unchecked when you load into a lobby. I highly, highly, highly recommend doing duo no-fills first. And then if you get really good at that and you start winning games over and over and over, then you can progress into solo trios. But that is really tough because you have 3 people aiming at you at once. And what this really improves is your positioning and your ability to solo 1v1 players. And what I mean by this is making every fight a 1v1. You never want 3 people shooting you at once. You want to have angles so that it's only a 1v1 at a time. And then you got to focus on winning each and every one of those 1v1s. So let's say you even wipe out 1 squad, right? You had to fight 3 separate people and make sure that they're not all shooting at you at the same time. That's really going to improve your skills. And solo duos, like I said, and solo trios are a great way to put your skills to a test. Now, this is more of an advanced tip for the more veteran players. So if you're a new player and you're struggling with this, just head back into normal games. It's not a problem. You can get there someday. It's really, really tough for me, and I've been playing this game since the very beginning. So, you know what I mean? It's not an easy task at all, but it will help you improve. I promise you that. Tip number 4 is going to be using the arena mode to practice with your bad weapons. Now, let's say, for example, just in this video, you struggle with the Eva A and you struggle with a Wingman. You're going to head into the arena mode and you are going to buy those 2 weapons every single round that you can afford them. And you're going to use it over and over and over and over until you get good with those weapons. Do not worry about winning in these games. Only worry about your accuracy with these weapons. Once you get comfortable and once you actually start hitting the shots with these weapons, then maybe move on to other weapons or head back into public matches. This is definitely a great way to improve on your bad weapons, because you want to be good with every weapon in Apex. Let's say off the drop, you only get a P2020, you know what I mean? There is those situations, and it does happen to every single player. You don't want to be stuck in that situation where you have a weapon that you suck with and you can't hit a single bullet with, and that's the reason you die in, let's say, a public match or even a ranked game. Tip number 5 today is going to be practice positioning yourself around cover at all times. And my God, this is one of the ones that I see new players doing probably the most. They slide out of cover and they're just running in the wide open when the enemy players have cover. This is never the move. You want to limit your time out in the open as much as possible. If you can be out in the open for 2 seconds, then great. You never want to be out in the open for like 20 or 30 seconds, just kind of roaming around with no cover, la-di-da-di-da, you know what I mean? You're going to get fried, especially in ranked. It's going to be like the blink of an eye and you're dead. Now, the rule that I like to think about is if you are far enough out in the open that if someone started shooting at you, by the end of their clip or their magazine, you cannot get back to cover. You are too far away from cover. You always want to be thinking ahead in Apex. It's one of those games where you always need to know your next move. You need to basically plan out the next move before it even happens. So let's say somebody shoots at you from the right and you have a piece of cover on your left. You need to be able to reach that piece of cover before the end of that magazine from the enemy. So make sure you're always playing cover. And like I said, this is a massive, massive thing for new players. Please play your cover or you're going to get destroyed. All right, tip number 6 is forcing yourself to aim for the head. I do not care how you have to do this. If you have to head into games and miss like 50% of your bullets to try to aim higher, then do so, because aiming for the head is going to get you those kills so much faster. And it's going to play into this next tip. And once you get this next tip down, then you are really going to dominate. If you can hit your headshots, it makes life so much easier. And this really applies to most shooter games, but especially Apex Legends. If you hit a couple headshots, the game is changed. The fight is changed in your favor dramatically. So always be aiming for the head. Tip number 7 is practicing your recoil control patterns in the firing range. If you guys need a video tutorial on how to do so, I have most of the weapons in an older video. If you want me to redo every single one, I can gladly do so in another video, but I'll link that one in the top right hand corner in case you want to click on it. Like I said, it's a little bit older, but it does show how to practice most of the recoil patterns in the range, in the firing range. And once you get the recoil patterns down, like I said in the previous tip, you can aim for the head, control the recoil well enough. You are going to absolutely dominate in Apex Legends. It's definitely going to help you improve. And like I said, if you guys need a while to practice these recoil patterns, don't be afraid to go into the firing range for about an hour and practice these different recoil patterns, because the time practicing in the firing range, it's going to pay off in regular lobbies. You can count on that. Tip number 8 is one that you can kind of mess around with once you get a little more accustomed to Apex Legends if you're new to the game, but it's going to be playing games without using any abilities. And what this is going to do is it's really going to not allow you to rely on abilities. Certain players will play Legends that have a lot of mobility, myself included. But yeah, I play Pathfinder most of the time, sometimes Wraith, sometimes Octane. All of those characters have a lot of mobility. And what playing characters without mobility will do, or playing games without using any abilities will do, is it will just really improve your map awareness. And like I said earlier, playing cover very well and your gun skill, it'll basically improve your entire game. but it won't allow you the ability to escape a scenario if you really need be. And you want to limit that as much as possible anyways, so it's a really good way of practicing, like I said, saving your abilities and playing natural cover. Tip number 9 is playing Apex consistently. Now, I realize a lot of you guys have 9-to-5 jobs. You might have kids to deal with. You might have other responsibilities. I get it. I totally understand. But I just need you guys to do me one thing. Play consistently. Even if it's like 2 or 3 nights a week, as long as you're playing consistently like that. Don't take a week off after playing. If you're trying to really improve, I'm guessing if you're watching this video right now, you're trying to improve at Apex, you play the game quite a bit. I would say that if you're watching this video right now, you probably play the game at least 3 to 4 times a week. All right, and that's fine as long as you play consistently. But don't play one night and then take 2 weeks off and then play here and then take 2 weeks off, or take 1 week off and play here. You're not going to improve that way. When have you ever seen any, this is obviously not a professional sport, but if you play any professional sport, when do you see those guys taking weeks off at a time and then just returning randomly? You know what I mean? They don't do it. In order to get better at something, you need to practice it consistently over and over and over. Repetitive nature is going to make you better at the game, and you definitely want to play consistently. I would say the more you play, the faster you're going to improve. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's basically all up to you. All right, the big tip number 10 today is going to be reviewing your own gameplays and fixing your mistakes. And you're going to need a device to kind of record your gameplays. So I realize some of you might not have access to that, and that's fine. But just kind of keep track of why you died in certain situations. Pull yourself out of the situation and make yourself a spectator of your own game. And once you can figure out your own mistakes, you can fix them in the firing range, or whether it's in arena mode, or whether it's in the next lobby that you play in, public matches, ranked matches, does not matter. Take an outsider's look on your gameplay and be very, very judgmental. Be very nitpicky on things you do wrong, because if you can fix those things, your gameplay is going to improve 1,000-fold, and you're going to be much happier with the results and hopefully winning more games. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this video off here. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It's been Sweat. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and peace out.